it in a broader perspective also. So because somewhere some things require perspective. So obviously.
Yeah. So good evening to all our viewers, and let's just start the conversation. A very warm welcome to everyone. Guys, we have a very esteemed panel today with us, and the whole objective of this initiative and the webinar is to help you guys figure out the right choices that you make in this season, the right useful choices that you make in this season. And as I said, we have two very seasoned education professionals with us. We have Professor Shiva Ganesh Bhargava, who spent almost 3 decades in the industry, followed by Professor Vinay again, who's almost spent 3 decades with great brands, great MBA brands in this space. And we have Jayanthan, who's an MBA grad. He's been working for the past over a decade now and has extensive experience. And my name is Hiral, and I'm a part of the Inside IM team, and I'll be hosting the webinar today. I'll just request all the members of the esteemed panel to just introduce themselves one by one, starting with Professor Bhargava.
See, I'm Shiv Ganesh Bhargava. I'm at present the Dean, Faculty of Management, SRM IST. Before joining in the month of February 2024, I spent roughly around 33 years at IT Bombay, 2 years at IIM Lucknow, 4 years at IIM Ahmedabad. I'm old man, after joining SRM IST, it was great to have the galaxy of teams. My Honorable Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Vinay Kumar, who himself is from IIM background. So we got very good team. Team has helped to take forward the Faculty of Management to the new direction. And we are marching ahead to see that how the management education, research, training is going to shape and reshape the society in large.
So do you want to talk a little bit about the experience that you had at the IIMs?
At IIM Lucknow, I was there for 2 years. And
at
my main IT Bombay is Shailesh Mehta School of Management. The one of the achievement that you can call it the joint executive MBA program with the George Washington University in St. Louis. It was the first degree program in the India, which was started by 2 universities together. And it was started, we signed MOU in 2015, and then I started the first batch in the month of 2016, January, 18 months program. Every month, a CEO or the senior person doesn't have to take leave, 4 days in a month, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Got it.
17 programs in India, 18th program, 3 weeks in the
So you were the pioneer of that program?
Yeah, I started that particular program, and today it's, I think, 9th batch is going on.
Awesome.
So we started with the 50% of the fee of St. Louis, that is 36 lakhs.
Sure.
Today it's a fee is 45 lakhs.
So we'll move to Professor Vinay now.
Thank you, Hiral. It's a pleasure joining this webinar. I come from management background, and in fact, me and Professor Bhargava were at IIM Lucknow. Okay, of course, when I joined, I think Professor Bhargava was about to leave, and then so I spent about 23 years at IIM Lucknow, and much of my experience at IIM Lucknow was quite significant in the sense that I got the opportunity of doing a lot of things. Firstly, I was involved in the PGP restructuring, our flagship MBA program restructuring, and I was involved in the PhD program restructuring. And of course, a lot of even the online MBA that we were actually contemplating, my experience typically, I was very passionate about the MBA curriculum from the beginning in a certain sense. It changed my perspective. When I visited Harvard Business School for a training program, the type of competitiveness that MBA schools were, engaged in the United States of America. I could get the first-hand feel. Everybody. So the MBA curriculum was standardized for a very long time. But there is a huge divergence that happened in the 90s, and everybody was actually trying to bring together a sort of a curriculum formula, and there was a distinctive differentiator for every MBA. So, for instance, Harvard emphasized on in-depth understanding about decision making and judging decisions as a key fundamental principle or the graduate attribute for an MBA manager, for a manager. So they emphasized a lot about that. So case teaching became one of the major instruments of teaching. Similarly, of course, every business school uses case teaching, but every other business school was emphasizing on other attributes equally strongly. And so when we were restructuring program at time Lucknow, we thought that we need to also have risk taking as one of the key attributes. And then every manager should have this ability to take risk. Okay, and there should be a very considered approach for doing that. So this was a passion for me, and thereafter I was the director for Narsimmonji Bangalore campus. Again, I had the opportunity of looking, redesigning the MBA curriculum in a certain way. Of course, we did some incremental changes, and after coming to SRM also, one of the key things that me and Bhargava were able to do was we sort of, restructured the way the MBA curriculum has to take from here on. So we sort of redesigned the entire package of MBA programs that we had, and we made some part of the program as a standard program, and the differentiators are supposed to be in the elective. So we worked quite hard on that, and we restructured that.
Yeah.
And now
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that as we move ahead, in the
so
conversation.
we did that in a significant way. So that was and the other significant thing was I started the entrepreneurship incubation at time Lucknow, and which was also a great experience with other colleagues. And now it is a very vibrant incubator in the north part of the country. Many significant ventures have come out of that. We have contributed a lot to entrepreneurship. Similar initiatives are taken at SRM right now. So that's a brief this thing about me. I think we can open up as we go along.
Yeah. Jayanthan, do you want to talk about your last 11 years of experience?
Yeah.
In
So
a
Jayanthan here. Yeah, I'm Jayanthan here. So I'm currently AGM in JSW 1. So I'm heading revenue and growth department of JSW 1 in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So as of the current thing, and before JSW, I was working with multi startups like Oyo, Ola, and HDFC. This is my overall experience with almost 12 to 13 years of experience. So I choose one particular thing that I will be on B2B platform and B2B sales. That is the core agenda I had in my mind. Though I have multiple industry support, multi-industry experience, but one key I stick to is IT-enabled companies. All the companies I work for is IT-enabled. For example, HDFC, I work for HDFCred.com, which is an IT portal from HDFC group. And again, I work for Ola. I work for Ola Corporate, which is a different special corporate platform for the platform bookings. So that's again IT enabled. And Oyo, I work for Oyo Campus, which is IT enabled campus life for all the facilities managed by on app application, IT enable. So this is my overall journey. And even in JSW, though JSW is a widespread multi-category, multi-product JSW products, but still I work on JSW One platform, which is an IT enabled B2B platform for getting the products online. This is my overall experiences of me.
Got it. Got it. Okay. I think that's great. So as I said, it's almost half a century of an experience, combined experience that we have between Professor Bhargava and Professor Vinay. And we have a B2B, expert with us on the panel today. So guys, I think before I move ahead in the conversation, just wanted to set the context, of this webinar. We are here to help students make the right, B-school choice, because this is the time that most of the schools are either, done with their interviews or they're going on, with their interviews. So sooner or later, students will have to make a, finally make a choice. And before that, want to also give the audience a little bit, context into, the current reality. Like all of us know that, this is an environment where, jobs are going to be difficult. There's AI automation, on our head, which is anyways going to, demand like smaller, more agile and more specialized teams. We have the US recession, which is looming on all of us. So eventually there is going to be, difficulty in, getting students placed. Now, given this reality, my first question is to, Dr. Bhargava. Do you think students should, really trust the traditional MBA promise, which is typically only of placements? And, how do you suggest that students should evaluate these schools vis-a-vis placements and also vis-a-vis placements first? Let's talk about that first. Do you think it makes sense to, listen to any brand which is saying that, okay, there's going to be 100% placements, especially private business schools? And, so what kind of information can one trust? Placement related information, particularly.
So I think the students have to admit that they are in 2025 and technology is reality. But one thing which they must keep in mind that they should not be panicked. When you are doing the business education, whether it is a private institute, whether it is a government institute, you should not forget that placement is a reality. Placement is reality, but while choosing the college, if they are able to see at least minimum 3 things, whether college has a faculty, what is the credibility of that particular faculty, whether college is equipped with the infrastructure. One of the basic infrastructure today is that we are no longer dependent on the hard copies of the textbooks. So virtual reality, technology, accessibility with the management games. So one is the faculty, second is the infrastructure, and third was the credibility of management B school. You see, the moment you are attracting your MBA students, you are writing on your website, 100% placement guaranteed. So what the new generation students today who are aspiring for MBA, they should make a note, there is no need to become panic. So much opportunities are waiting in the market. Identify a college that equips them to prepare them as a holistic person who is capable in taking decision, either in a harsh cases or in a soft cases. Placement is bound to come. You have to understand, even if the AI and the new AIs, they come, there are many jobs which are going to be taken, but ultimately, which decision is the best decision, Chat GPT will not be able to tell. It will give you only option. So it is the faculty, how they prepare, how they orient, how you are able to reach a conclusion that could be most cost effective. It is only possible when you are having research-oriented faculty, when you are having experienced faculty. So that is the one thing which they should admit. Placement. MBA and placement, they are complementary to each other. But one good thing that you are able to notice, at least with our students, our good B school students, that there is no tension in the mind of MBA students that, oh, placement, placement, and placement. In 80s, if you see, when I was the young, in 2000 in Lucknow, when I was there, I was in middle age. And today, when I say today's MBA students, they are opting for SMEs, startups, many kind of consulting assignments. And yes, if good company is coming, they are able to go and join for the experience. So students are having so much opportunities today, and it's a very good that AI has come. They should not forget that during the time of MBA, the foundation is always going to be beneficial. Fundamentals, they are not going to be the waste. The knowledge of model gives opportunity of verification.
Got it.
And last, interaction with peers in the class and professor. It not only increases your degree of self-confidence, it not only increases your communication ability, but it also gives you a leadership ability, that how people are able to listen to your ideas. And that may become a basis to emerge as a leader.
Just a follow-up, just a follow-up question on this to you and also to Professor Vinay for that matter. You know, you were saying that students should look at faculty, they should look at infrastructure, they should look at the credibility of the faculty, the results that the faculty have got. But are there any official sources, you know, like for example, you know, everybody has this thing called, there's this thing called right to information, right? So you can exercise that right to get the true information, the raw data out. So are there any sources or are there any mechanisms by which students can investigate deeper? Because right now, you know, students don't know where to go to. They would rely on platforms like ours or some other, you know, third-party platform to get this kind of an information. But all this internal material is not available everywhere. And nor do students, like for example, how many students really understand that it's important for, you know, professors to be industry experts and at the same time, you know, be like, you know, also have PhDs. So, you know, what are the right sources to get this internal gyan?
I think, sir will give you the factual regulatory part, but I must tell you, today's generation children, it is very difficult for any business school through the AICT rule and UGC rule to be fictitious. You can portray your percentage or anything in a very, you have used the word polishing. So that is possible. But you cannot put in website that you are having 20 faculty members, you can put 200. I am telling you, 20 years back when I was doing the accreditation of the Mumbai colleges, same professor is teaching in your college, in his college, in my college, in their college. And they were saying that you do whatever you want to do. But today, it is not possible. So what students should do, those who are aspiring for MBA, they must visit the official website of the university or the business school. And I will not say 100%, but around 99% business schools which are accredited by the regulatory body of the government of India, they now provide actual information of the faculty. Some kind of manipulations are possible, particularly on adjunct professor, visiting professor, professor of practice, but that is the policy. That is, you are saying industry relationship and other things. So they can have some kind of that part. Students should not go by what they hear and what others are saying. They should cross-check, and they are doing it. If you look at the number of students registering in CAT admissions, appearing, and then later on appearing in the admission test, you will be able to get the data. So I am saying that yes, it is happening. I am in the process of getting registration, getting regulation, getting accredited from AICT. During that stage, I can do all these things. But the moment I'm recognized as a accredited institute, aspiring to be a world-class leader in the academia, I don't think that is a major concern. But yes, infrastructure and other things could be manipulated.
Got it. Okay. And within, like, again, how do you evaluate faculty? And this is again both for Professor Bhargav and Professor Vinay. Like faculty, infrastructure, you know, how do you evaluate these things deeply? Like, what
I,
I can.
should
I'd like
Sir.
to add one point here. I'll second Professor Bhargava's opinion. So in other words, since there is a lot of information out there, one of the key things that it is better for the student to do some research, personal research, and the best way to do research is visiting the website of the interested college. That's one of the key source of information. Of course, sometimes the updation is an issue, but I think that's a fairly well represented, curated information. Now, one of the things that you can observe from the website is, how many years a faculty member has spent in a certain college. Now, that's one of the key indicators. It's not typically, if a college has more number of faculty members staying beyond 15 years and working in the same organization, that organization is one of those organizations that you can believe, because people who have taught courses for about 15 years, much of their teaching is matured, much of their course offering is matured. So from a classroom experience perspective, I think one should basically choose experienced faculty. How many experienced faculty one institute has? This is one. Secondly, how faculty members are staying relevant. If their profiles talk about their research, and how are they contributing to their research, is another indicator of assessing the type of quality of the faculty that are present in an institution. I think that these two parameters will greatly help the faculty, the students understand the quality of instruction and quality of education in a certain institution. There are many rankings and other things which are also okay. I mean, which can also be looked at, but an individual research is much better than the rankings all and other things. I think that's something very important. Those things will determine whether the institute is matured or not.
Sure. Again, just to follow up on this, on the placements bit, like apart from highest packages, there's always this missing gap of information where there is hardly any information around what are the kind of roles which are offered, what are the kind of companies which have come on campus, how many contemporary roles are being offered, how many, old school kind of, like legendary companies are coming on campus. So again, apart from highest, lowest, median, average, what are the different ways in which you can investigate placements better?
So you have to understand that we are now living in a very complex situation. If you look at the placement records of the top schools in the United States of America and Europe and general world over, there is a 30% fall in placements. There are reports that you can see on the net which talk about, even in India, the top business schools were having difficulty during the placement season. So you have in IIMs typically you have a 3-day window within which the placement happens, but then sometimes the 3-day window is breached, and it is taking more time than the 3 days, and this is happening for the last 2-3 years now. So placement is not that guaranteed thing that is going to happen in business schools now. It's known even for the top business schools. Now there is an ROI perspective with which we were looking at MBAs. So how much do I invest and how much do I get in my placement was one of the key metric for doing it. So for a very long time, what happened was the fees for MBA education significantly went up. And when there are economic shocks, what happened was the ROI was actually became unviable and things like that. So now we have the AI and other things actually having a credible impact on job market, you see that the ROI became a significant thing now. A lot of business schools in the West, in the US, have closed down because the ROI question was untenable with the fees and this, that. So now a lot of business schools actually revise their fees downwards and this, that. So one of the key things that you have to look at is a reasonable fee bracket is something that you should certainly consider. Anything that is very high fees, let's say anything above 20 lakhs or above 15 lakhs. Now, you know that the ROIs for those schools are going to be very difficult in the current situation. Okay. But let's say if there is a school that is 10 lakhs or maybe 15 lakhs, okay, the ROI possibilities are quite high for those schools. Okay. Of course, this is not, I mean, don't, I'll request the student not to look at the ROI as only one perspective. You have to, combine that with other things, because obviously the student experience is one of the key things for choosing. But the point is, ROI is important. And when you see very high, branded MBA programs not achieving their, placement objectives, it's going to be an important metric to look at. And then the question of fees comes, and relative to the fees, what is the type of ROI that is possible is something becomes an important metric for choosing.
Sure. Again, I think I understand what you're saying, but again, going back to my question a little bit, anything which, for example, is not given in the placement reports, but maybe, the aspirant can demand it through the admissions counselors or through, some other, contact, mechanism. Do you want to suggest, our students that, okay, this is what you'll get in the placement report, but you can definitely ask more questions, and again, in the context of SRM, even outside of SRM for that matter, any information which is again placement oriented, but not in the report, but can be, it's available and you can ask for it anytime.
So Hiral, what a lot of business schools are trying to do is to do an external audit of their placement. A lot of agencies like CRISIL does it. Of course, SRM, we are in the process of getting to that stage because we are aligning our metrics to sort of CRISIL framework. But the point is, so the numbers, when they are looked at by an external agency, the credibility comes. Okay, and so in other words, it's there's a little bit of inflation here and there, but most of the business schools, when they give out these numbers, they are also quite careful that if you overstate, the expectations are going to the incoming batch is going to come with excessive expectations, and when you don't meet those excessive expectations, it's going to be very difficult. So in other words, there is a direct correlation between what you state in these reports and then what kind of expectations are you going to set for the batch. So therefore there is now a sort of a maturity that institutes have come. But there is also this rating agencies which are giving you the service, which can be relied upon. There's no problem. But the point is, when you choose the MBA program, it is a total experience. I would like to emphasize that, placement is one aspect, but you need to also look at what type of student experience that you will have in an overall sense, because right now you have more opportunities also coming up. Okay. I think as we go along, maybe we can touch upon those things.
All right. I think next question is to Professor Bhargava and Jayantan. I have something to ask you also. But for Professor Bhargava, again, talking about this uncertainty thing, how are you guys at SRM training students for, placements in these times? given that there are a lot of new age skills. So one is vis-a-vis focus on new age, stuff like AI, maybe data, the fact that, students should have the ability to understand data science and also to use those methods to analyze like large, at least do basic analysis of large, swaths of data. Then there is, as I said, there's digital marketing, there is digital transformation, there's also product management. These are all, again, have been in this space for quite some time. The lingo has been there in the space for quite some time, but it's just that the curriculums are now, probably using it to upskill students. So, like, what are you guys doing at SRM to sort of get students placed in an era like this where the kind of competencies and the skills that recruiters are asking is shifting gradually?
So, as Professor Kumar has very candidly mentioned to you that the effort is on not only preparing for the placement. Placement is only one component. When we came to SRM IST, you should not forget that many of the MBA students, neither they had craze of placement, not they were interested in a placement, not even they were considering that placement is required. My sister did MBA, I am doing. My brother is doing, I am doing. So what is the most important part is that whatever we have with us, that we should be able to communicate to them. Preparing them, the major problem is the self-confidence and communication. So at individual level, they are not admitting themselves that they are the very important stakeholder to contribute in the business field. So one thing we have seen in 2 years, that our emphasis on business communication, our emphasis on self-development, assertiveness, these kind of things, and as indicated in the beginning, he mentioned, the curriculum is a compulsory for all MBA students, whether they are in the digital marketing, whether they are in a AI, whether they are in a general MBA. So advantage that is coming is not with all, to be very frankly, but there is a perceptual change that the moment they are entering in the faculty of management building, they are able to realize that they are in a new place. And even those who were not speaking have started speaking. The contribution to many extracurricular activities such as participation in the business quiz, going and attending a particular business quiz in the Loyola College, in a Sabita College, in a nearby places, going and compulsorily visiting the industrial visit. Now the one more good thing has been done, that 90 days project has to be done. All students have to be associated with some company to do the project. They will get a kind of some exposure. So uncertainty is there, it's a good for us. Because in that uncertainty, if we are able to utilize that particular opportunity and make some kind of place in the form of preparing the entrepreneurs, preparing the people who can, other than taking the corporate houses, social entrepreneurship has come up like anything. Today, you will not believe that even those who are in the field of finance and that particular area, how to register a particular company under Section 25, Section 8, income tax payers have gone up like anything, becoming consultant. So placement is there, and we are not undermining the placement. And our placement report can't be manipulated, can't be. See, you have to understand, we are in a social media. And tomorrow, if any news goes in the market, that any information given by this particular institute was misleading, it is going to affect our further placement, further in admission. So we are not worried about that. But to answer your question, we are not only preparing as a well-polished management graduate to take up a job in a corporate house. We are preparing an entrepreneur. We are preparing a social agent of change. We are preparing many students. Right now, you see in the one of our student is in the Bombay Indian, that Mumbai Indians. He is a player. He is our own student of MBA. We give sufficient opportunity. As I mentioned, infrastructure, you see, One of the good thing of the SRM IST is if you get time to visit us, still greenery is very, very healthy. We have a small campus, but it gives you a flavor of mini IIT actually.
Got it.
And so
Okay.
what I'm saying is preparing them as a healthy young graduates who can corporate house is the one they can make place anywhere. IS, civil services, anywhere they're able to do very well.
Got it. Sure. I'll take some questions from the audience. And
I'll
I'll also
just
leave.
add one point to Professor Bhargava's this thing. Professor Bhargava had started a very interesting program last year. It's like a 2-year-long intervention that happens. And we have some very good senior colleagues who have graduated from prominent IIMs. I'm Ahmedabad, I'm Bangalore, and worked in the corporate sector, and some of them have retired also. Now, those people, about 20 of them visit our campus to basically talk about how do you prepare yourself as an MBA for the next 2 years. And now that intervention, you have to observe Professor Bhargava's statement that, he was talking about the general disinterest was one of the things that we had faced. So this program completely changed the way they started looking at the MBA program, MBA as an experience, And so we have this mentoring that is happening, and that lasts for next 2 years. And that had really given a sort of a perspective to our students. And that changed the way they are now attending the interviews, now preparing their career paths, understanding about opportunities, because it's a they come twice in a year, and it's like reasonable period. They spend about 10 days, and in the 10-day period we don't have any classes, and these people are continuously engaging them for the 10-day period. And I think that worked quite well in a certain way. And there actually it's like a rationalization process. Hey, if you are preparing for placement, how do you prepare? If you have any other opportunity, maybe about entrepreneurship, then also there is a sort of a career path, and how do you basically work towards that. And there's one of the things that I have to mention here. SRM has a very vibrant entrepreneurial ecosystem. And MBA is one of our program that contributes quite a lot to this ecosystem, and it is increasing. And in fact, both of us are contemplating that we should invest more of our resources on the vertical of entrepreneurship. And we're building a sort of a newer model, and then working towards making sure that our students have more outcomes even in the entrepreneurship area. So that's going to be one of the key things as we go along, and we want to invest more on that.
Sure. I think I now have a question for Jayant also.
Just only one I can add what Sir is saying. See, it was his vision, taking help of the experienced people. One more thing he has added to the Faculty of Management. Bloomberg Lab in Chennai is the second in SRM.
Oh, okay.
It was because of him only he insisted, don't look at the utility, FinTech Lab and Bloomberg. Because unless they don't get the real exposure, and finance is giving job, you see, marketing, finance, and information system. These are the 3 areas where placement is high. Please go ahead.
Sure. Thank you. So Jayant, just like I had a very simple question for you, which is, at what point in your career do you feel that the MBA is actually now giving you like a steep ROI? The money, the effort, the time that you invested in those 2 years is giving you the real results now, where you're I'm not saying growing by leaps and bounds, but it's giving you a massive difference, showing a massive difference now in your careers, both from a monetary and a non-monetary perspective.
So when I started working for a company called Ola Corporate, So I was heading Tamil Nadu for corporate sales. So that point, maybe the career of after 3 years of my career, I realized that MBA is very valuable, and also MBA from SRM is also very valuable. Reason is the corporate connect activity I do in during the SRM days that gives me a very big impact in my real life also. So the I was the coordinator for the industrial relationship in SRM. So that gave me confidence how to pitch, how to connect to the corporate companies, how to sell any product, or how to showcase the talent to what we have. So I was part of a industrial relationship team in SRM during my second year. So I was closely worked with professors, and that gave me a full confidence and take my lifetime decision that I should work on B2B platform. B2B business is my career path. This is the decision I have taken from SRM itself. Few people from SRM still struggling which path they have to take, whether they have to go this department or this stream or this industry. So still they have a lot of question marks in their mind. Even my friends are having the questions. But still I have fixed my career path, and B2B platform is very real from SRM itself. That gave me a very good confidence there.
And give you an approach.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, as I said, when did you feel that the benefit is like now started kicking in, and you were seeing a massive difference in the kind of opportunities that you were attracting and the kind of salaries that you were attracting? When did that like actually happen?
I said no, after 4 or 5 years of my career. That is
Okay.
and currently, if you see, I am heading Tamil Nadu and Kerala. The others, I am from SRM, and other states are headed by my colleagues, where all came from IAM, ISB.
Got it. Got it.
So this is really workful.
Got it. Understood. One question for you. 2011 is when you joined the program, right? What at that point in time, what made you consider this as your, choice? Like, okay,
So I did my UG in Loyola. Yeah, I did my UG in Loyola, BSc Computer Science. So during my school time, I decided, so I'm going to be in the IT platform and followed by a business, maybe in future business. So I thought, okay, 3+2, the BSc UG plus PG is my path. So I selected the best college in the India. Loyola College is the best, almost top
Yeah,
5 I can say.
Yes.
UG, that is my best. So after Loyola, so PG, I was looking for multiple options. So I was looking for accreditation of the college, ranking, and campus life, and the infrastructure of the colleges, what they have. So I didn't more focus on the placements, because I personally feel maybe in future I'll be a entrepreneur also maybe. So I strongly suggest, okay, I'll look at the college where I'll get more experience. First, I look for diversity of the college students. That SRM gives a very good experience for me. I saw from website. I think Professor Vinay and Bhargava both conveyed this point. So I personally do assessment. Which are the colleges? I go to websites. All websites as the live at campus tour. The campus tour will be available on all the websites. So I've gone through all the websites. I will do a proper assessment of each colleges, and I have selected SRM as my college. I chosen way back 2011. If you ask the question, if you're going to choose by 2025, with almost 14 years of 12 to 13 years of experience, still SRM will be in my top 5 list at least. That is my even after the experience, I still prefer SRM should be in my top 5 list for choosing the right colleges.
Got it. So you spoke about like industry exposure. You were, industrial relations person at the campus. Let's also talk about something which is related to it, which is alumni network. In this decade of after having passed out from the school, when did the actual effect of the alumni network at SRM started kicking in? How accessible it is? And if you could just give some instances to our viewers on what's the real outcome of being a part of the alumni network at SRM?
So alumni network of SRM is very, very powerful. It being more than 30 plus years of alumni and SRM, that we have a good alumni network, being it is WhatsApp group or being in live person. So they are easily accessible.
Okay.
Even now I have my connects over multiple other branches and multiple other sections also from my batch. Still I have connect. And that connect is helping me when I have a requirement of in any requirement in sales or any requirement in my company, in any of the companies. So still I post the requirement in those forums, and I get immediate response from my batchmates and also from other colleagues. So that is a very good network. And even I can say proudly, after, even in JSW where I am now, I could see 4 juniors in my team. That sounds really good. Even wherever we go, even in the client place or wherever the offices, I could see at least few SRM could see. Whenever I go and say I am from SRM, okay, which part, which batch? So that discussion automatically comes, and we have a network connected there. And also alumni meet is happening every year. I will try maximum to attend those meetings wherever possible.
Got it. Okay. Again, I mean, connected to alumni network, I have a follow-up question for both the sirs. I mean, anyone of y'all can take it up. We do a lot of alumni reports here at Inside Eye, where we do again a deeper investigation, objective investigation into where have alumni from certain business schools, where are they currently working, what industries, what domains. Can you give a sense to our users, maybe if not like 10-year-old alumni, but maybe like the recent 2-year, 5-year-old alumni, what kind of composition will we typically see? Like what industries, what sectors, what kind of roles will we typically see them in?
I think I'll just give you the scale of this, in the sense. I think just to put it in perspective, you have the registered alumni at SRM IST is some 200,000 people. Okay. Now that's a very large this thing. I'll just give you the scale of the university. I mean, it just one campus, the Katanpulutur campus, which is the main campus. There are over 55,000 students. There are 246 departments. It's a ranging from architecture, design, biochemistry, biomedical, pharmacy, you name it. You have all the different types of departments, healthcare, medicine, so engineering. The network that you're talking about is actually a much diverse network. And when we do the alumni meet here at the campus, that itself is like a festival. It's the scale is very big, and it is done in a very elaborate manner. And one of the key interesting things is the type of interest our alumni take in the university. It's awesome. Actually, I was surprised that people who have graduated 40 years from now from SRM IST are coming back, contributing. Some of them are donating. Some of them in various ways. The university is benefiting from our own students. They're all over the world, everywhere. You name, if you are part of the group, you can get a contact in every city of the world. So in a certain sense, this is the type of network that we're talking about. But when you look at the recent alumni who have actually contributed, I mean, their career paths in a certain sense are both, in corporate sector, also in entrepreneurship. I'll talk about a few of our students who made a mark in entrepreneurship. there's one person who graduated about, just about 3-4 years back. He runs, almost Kerala and Tamil Nadu put together some 300 different, a food chain with 300 centers, branches. Okay. And that started as a small project in SRM. He started that food, this thing, in one of the events called Bazaar. And then
undergraduate event, BBA.
yeah, and then that became his MBA passion, and then he went and then started. He's now a massively large, and he sponsors a lot of our events, even today. And there's one girl who graduated just about, I think, last year. She started the traditional sweets in the vending machine. Okay. And she basically sort of employs some, 250 odd farmers, and who basically use the original ingredients and make them in a very traditional way with high quality standards. And then now it is available. Just in our campus, there are 20 vending machines. Okay. And then she's scaling up and this, that. And, these are not funded by any venture capital. But the type of impact that they've created is actually commendable. They're starting inside the SRM ecosystem and are actually going and impacting the society in a certain way, which is quite a satisfying experience in a certain way.
So
one more contribution of
point. Yeah, yes, sir.
One more contribution of alumni. You just say we cannot pay the honorarium which industry people get, and today we have made the rule that every professor has to have 1 or 2 classes from the industry expert.
Right.
And you will be surprised to know that these alumni, they are coming, they are not taking any honorarium, and they are sharing their experience. And we never imagined that is making great contribution in the mind of our students. Please go ahead. You are just speaking something.
Yeah, to adapt those entrepreneurship skill developed in SRM, even immediately after my college, with 2013, I passed out. Immediately after that, I had a startup called BuyFresh, which is cultivated in SRM. When I was there, I went to my dean and said, when I am complete their graduate, they go and start a new company. When I am can, why not SRM? And she was so impressed. And she asked, what is your idea? Those time there is no big basket, no Zomato, Swiggy, nothing. So my concept was giving all fruits and vegetables and groceries online in 10 years before. Those times, no Swiggy, no big basket. So my ideas, I initially start with the SRM gave me a lot of support. I started with SRM campus, inside campus for hostel, colleges, nearby apartments. So those are my target audience. And it was a very good scale up. We tried and we reached out to Subway. We reached out to multiple other real hotels also. And the support from SRM, that I think that is the first incubation product we developed in SRM. I can proudly say this is the first product, first concept we developed in SRM incubation center, and now it is grown up massively at the incubation center. But due to my personal reason and other stuff, this has been hold for some time. Maybe I'm currently I'm 35. Maybe even after 40, I should kickstart another startup or same BuyFresh again in future.
Got it. Understood. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that entrepreneurship is a big thing on campus, and it's very interesting to hear that aspirants are looking at entrepreneurship. That's quite a interesting thing. I have a few questions. Again, I think there are a few repeat questions. From our viewers. Maybe we can take it up one by one. But I mean, yeah, coming back to my last question, it was more with respect to like which are the most common roles that, like, I think sir did mention that, like marketing, finance, and these are some of the most common. So I just wanted to know, like, where, like, typically where do alumni get placed? Like, in what domains?
See, I think if you are giving message to the students, then they should come here with the mind that they are doing MBA. And that means what? In the first year, it is having this mindset that I'm going in digital marketing, I'm going in this, I'm going in that. That particular information is based on their whatever relationship they had, because they are graduate students. So our suggestion is that they must keep their interest in the background. As sir was mentioning, ROI cannot be undermined. You are from lower middle class. You have taken bank loan. So you have to take up a job. Job is not available in a particular area. It is only available in another area. So those kind of, that the program that sir mentioned that we are doing, they are the people who are able to mold, guide, direct. Therefore, saying this, that you go in a AI and data sciences, plenty of jobs. Yes, jobs are there. All will be placed. But that does not mean logistics and supply, manufacturing, auto, industry, infrastructure, our program and project management, logistics and supply chain, family managed business, healthcare and hospital management. So,
Got it.
but we don't give any indication
Got
that
it.
we, it is, but if I am an MBA student, graduate student, and in position to do my coursework and go in an area which I like, in long run, it will be more rewarding. In the short run, certainly, if you are in the core areas, you will get the first placement, second place. Sir may add that.
Sure. So there are some questions from, our viewers in the chat. I hope you all can see the chat. Are there any questions that you guys would want to take up? Like, for example, there's one student who's asking how is AI and data shaping the SRM MBA. I think we've already answered that multiple times. There is a recent question where somebody is saying, hello, good evening. What do you look for in a candidate? Yeah, that's an interesting one which we've not covered. Like, from an admissions perspective, what do you look for in a candidate, including the standard stuff, which is your scores, work ex, gender, etc., etc.
So fundamentally, the basic thing is, we recognize all the aptitude tests, but in our interview, we would like to emphasize a certain level of communication skills, because clearly articulating is a very good thing. And if candidates have that communication skill, and in one of the key things in the interview is how well they're actually prepared. The point is, it should, in the interview, they should demonstrate that they've done some effort to prepare. So these are things that you can easily notice. Your communication you can't make up. Similarly, you can't make up whether you are prepared or not. Okay, if you are casually coming, okay, you may have some facts, less number of facts. You may have some sketchy data, but let's say if you have made the effort shows in the interview. Okay, so some of these are very important, but the other thing is the candidate should have some contemporary knowledge of economics and politics. What is happening around, what is the current situation, what is happening. Look at the business itself is changing with tariffs. Now the US has come up with tariffs. It is going to change the way each country is going to actually trade, and some kind of an understanding is needed. Of course, you don't need a very deep understanding of international trade and things like that, but you should know these facts, in the sense that it just, if you're cut off and then it is easily visible, and that's not something that we should be completely avoided. A good preparation, good communication, and some contemporary understanding is necessary.
Got it. All right. Again, as I said, there are some more questions which I feel, I think we've taken most of them, but if you want to pick any one of those, I
So
found this
somebody
one.
asked whether they can pursue a psychology major wants to do MBA. See, the MBA program is available for everybody. There is no prerequisite. It is meant for everybody. We are preparing managers, okay? And in fact, there is a crisis in the market, okay? Not every MBA is a manager, unfortunately. And so therefore, we are preparing the future managers, future leaders who will change the business, society in a certain way. So we are open. Every graduate, every field is eligible for applying, and we'll mold you into a manager, and that's our mandate.
And they can see a best example.
I think somebody asked what kind of recruitment, what are the companies that see, we all prominent companies, we have the major banks come to us, all major banks, HDFC, Axis, all major banks come to us, and also even a lot of FMCG companies come to us. So specifically, it's there on the website. Each year some new additions will be there. But we have a very good network of companies which keep coming back to us and recruiting from our campus. So we have a very good relationship with industry.
Yeah, and then again, all the questions are mainly around, for example, how is AI and data shaping the SRM MBA? How is AI going to affect the entire MBA program as a whole, the curriculum, the jobs, etc.?
See, AI is going to impact, but as of now, I don't know. A lot of people have speculation that it is actually going to replace people, and the machines will take over. But as of now, every person should be able to use AI in their jobs, and it is possible to integrate the AI knowledge, and then adding your own research to it and making judgment. End of the day, it is your decision. As a manager, you have to take a call. AI cannot take the call. Okay, AI will give you enough insights about which direction probably you can take, and this that. And also to supplement AI, you should also have your own research, because AI is not a monolith in the sense that there are many AIs. Okay, AI itself is built by human beings, and every human being will have a certain bias. So don't think that AI is going to be an unbiased, something, is like a coin which will give you heads or tails. Now that's not going to happen. AI skills are needed. AI is going to aid your decision making, but decisions have to be taken by you.
Sure. I think mostly we've answered most of the questions. Yeah, so I think thank you so much for your time, both the professors. Thank you so much. Thanks, Jayanthan, for coming in. And post webinar, if we see more questions coming from the audience, we'll definitely shoot it across. And yeah, thank you so much. Thanks to your viewers also for your time.
Thank you, Hiral.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
We invite you to come and visit our campus.
Definitely.
Sure.
You conducted the interview very nicely, the web part. So please come and share with our students, so that some of them can think up